Welcome back to the deep dive. Last time we really went into Hegel's vision of history, spirit moving through time. Today we're taking quite a leap actually into Jason Jorjani's work. He sort of reignites that ancient spark, but well, through a very different Promethean lens. So our mission really is to crack open what Jorjani calls the chest of forbidden knowledge. We're going to face his core ideas head on. And it's not just philosophy as, an academic exercise. He presents it as a call for metaphysical insurrection, I think is his term. And central to this is his view of Iran, not as some ruin, but as, well, the sleeping Prometheus, chained, waiting to rise again.
Exactly. And for you listening, this deep dive is about getting to the heart of it, distilling the key stuff from the sources we've looked at. Think of it as maybe a shortcut, a way to grasp this pretty radical perspective. And yeah, some of it is quite surprising, even unsettling. We're here to guide you through it.
Okay, so let's start right there with the myth itself. Prometheus. The basics are familiar, right? Titan steals fire, gives it to humans. And for this crime, this awakening of humanity, he gets bound, tortured, the whole deal. But Jorjani reads it very differently, doesn't he? It's not just a warning.
Oh, absolutely not. For Jorjani, it's foundational. It's like a manifesto for what humans can be. He sees Prometheus not just as a rebel, but as a figure embodying cosmic responsibility, even sacrificial knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And the fire.
Yeah.
It's way more than just physical fire. It's illumination, it's technology, it's freedom itself. He argues that the true human being is fundamentally Promethean, someone willing to risk it all, to know, to create, to transform everything.
That really reframes it. And he has that powerful quote, "We are not fallen creatures to be redeemed. We are titans who must awaken." What does that really signal about his view of us, of human potential? It's such a contrast to, well, a lot of traditional thinking. What should you, our listener, take from that idea of being a titan?
It's a total shift in perspective, isn't it? He's essentially rejecting any idea of inherent sin or brokenness or the need for some external saving grace. Instead, he's asserting this innate, almost godlike capacity within us, the power to achieve, to challenge limits, to grab knowledge, even the dangerous stuff. It's about reclaiming something primordial.
Right. So this reimagined Prometheus, this awakened titan that sets the stage, but how does he connect this ancient myth to our world, like right now? What's his take on the current global situation?
Well, his diagnosis is pretty stark. He calls it a world state of emergency. And he sees it playing out everywhere, politically, metaphysically, ecologically. His argument is that the old systems, capitalism, liberalism, traditional religion, even technocracy, they're all basically collapsing under their own contradictions. It's into this chaos, this vacuum that he says Promethean man has to step. But stepping in means facing what he calls some terrifying truths. And these are, well, they're pretty out there for some. Things like the possibility that UFOs are real and maybe linked to ancient Iranian myths, or that parapsychology, ESP, precognition, that kind of thing, isn't just pseudoscience, but actually challenges our whole materialist framework. Then there's the claim that, secret technologies have been suppressed by elites. And even the idea that the old Gnostics, the ones who thought this world was like a flawed copy run by a lesser god, maybe they were onto something.
Okay, but it's important to clarify here, right? He's not just peddling conspiracy theories per se. He frames it more as a need for a philosophical reckoning, a serious look at what our society or maybe mainstream science has just dismissed as impossible or forbidden.
Exactly. It's about questioning the boundaries of the known. And he puts it very bluntly. Promethean knowledge is dangerous, but ignorance is death. For him, the risk involved in knowing, however scary, is always better than staying in the dark.
So, okay, we have this diagnosis, a world in crisis, needing this Promethean intervention. What exactly is the system he proposes, this Prometheism?
Right, Prometheism.
Okay.
It's both a worldview and a kind of political vision. He boils it down to 4 core ideas. First, radical freedom of thought, meaning basically nothing is off the table. No idea is too forbidden to explore. Second, technological transmutation, using science not just for convenience, but to actively elevate and, transform human potential itself. Third is mythic sovereignty, which means grounding our future not just in logic or current politics, but in deep ancient symbolic memory. And fourth, underpinning much of it, is an Iranian Renaissance, a specific goal to revive what he sees as the Zoroastrian and Gnostic soul of humanity originating from there. So it's this really interesting, maybe challenging mix. It's like ancient spirituality meets cutting-edge tech. And he's very clear, this is not utopian. He actually describes it as tragic, bold, and risky. It has a very Nietzschean feel, challenging values, self-overcoming. But he roots it specifically in ancient Iran, not just Europe.
Okay, if that's the philosophy, who does he see actually doing this? Who are the agents of this massive transformation? Not politicians, presumably.
Definitely not politicians in the usual sense, no bureaucrats either. He calls them magi. But he's careful to define them. They're not priests, not bound by religious dogma. They are philosopher scientists. They're not exactly kings either, but more like symbol makers and fire keepers, guardians of that Promethean flame. And they're not populists trying to please the masses. They are, in his words, those who carry the burden of light. He talks about it as an aristocracy of consciousness.
Yeah.
It harks back, apparently, to Zarathustra and this ancient Iranian concept, karena, which is sort of like a divine charisma, a radiance connected to wisdom and true sovereignty, not inherited power, but illuminated understanding.
And he says, the Magi do not rule through force. They rule by flame, the flame that reveals the real. That's quite a statement. For you listening, what kind of power do you think that flame represents? Is it just knowledge, inspiration, something more mystical? So given this grand vision, this focus on Magi and transformation, you might think it's all about political structures. But he argues that politics and law alone, they just aren't enough. Why not?
Yeah, that's a key point. For Jorjani, politics and law, they operate on the surface level. They don't really touch the deeper, well, the spiritual or symbolic void he sees in modernity. He's convinced that only what he calls aesthetic vision can truly save us. A kind of reawakening of meaning through powerful symbols, through art, through myth. And he stresses this isn't about going backward. It's not reactionary traditionalism. It's about forging a new myth for the future, drawing on ancient power, but making something new. And the result of this aesthetic vision, he believes it leads to concrete outcomes, like a new Promethean republic born from this fire, this knowledge or gnosis. Also a kind of civilizational refounding, led by Iranian memory, yes, but open to the whole world, inspiring it. And it culminates in this fascinating reversal of Hegel. Hegel saw Persia as just the beginning of history's journey. For Jorjani, it becomes the end and the rebirth, a return to the source in a way.
So wrapping this up, Jorjani really positions himself in a unique spot, doesn't he? It's like one foot is deep in ancient Iran's symbolism, and the other is stepping into some kind of post-human future. It's quite the stretch.
It's definitely not a comfortable philosophy. It asks a lot. Courage, clarity, facing up to what he argues is reality. It's demanding stuff.
But underneath it all, there is this powerful current of hope, isn't there? This belief that spirit, that human potential can actually rise again, that the fire Prometheus gave us wasn't actually put out, that Prometheus, in a sense, isn't dead.
Absolutely. And it leaves us, and you, the listener, with a pretty provocative question, drawing right from the sources. What is the future of Iran, potentially? And through it, maybe the future of the world. Could a Promethean republic, as he envisions it, actually happen? Is it even possible now? Or are we perhaps too late for something that radical?
Something to think about. And remember, knowledge is fire. Do not fear it.